what do you see as like one of your greatest struggles? And what do you see as one of the greatest struggles for the young men coming into your seminary today, considering what, Ratzinger, what Benedict said back, 70 something years ago in his introduction to Christianity, quoting that Kierkegaard story of the, theologians and preachers are basically, clowns in the sense that they're like this clown that was all dressed up for a performance for a circus, and he sees that the circus is caught on fire, and if they or something is caught on fire, and if they don't get all the help to put it out, then eventually the entire city will burn down. So he runs all to the neighboring city to try to get help for the setup, and they all think it's this great theatrical act, and they're like, "Oh, this is great." And so then the sad thing is they think it's just part of the clown show, and the whole everything burns down because they could not seriously take anything that this clown was saying. Well, how do you see them as being that clown, or how do you see them as overcoming that great cultural divide that so separates us from so many others?
It's just funny. So if you remember, the part of the story here that Ratzinger wants to draw from it, though, as well, is there's something also a little bit simple in the analogy, right? Because it comes from that sort of death of God era. Harvey Cox is quoting Kierkegaard here, and he looks at it like looking at like late 60s, right? That the clown feels like he can't communicate to the people. They don't see sort of past the ecclesiastical garb that he has on, right? And in the end, it's like he's just trying to wrangle us into the circus that is the church. And Ratzinger turns around and says, there's a certain truth to that, but there's a simplicity to it too, as though you're taking your garment off and then it'll all be fine, right? You can kind of like strip down to sort of like this base man, like that's relatable underneath all the garment.
We can update our language to become like modern man.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's, I mean, he's already starting to see the lack, the naivety of that. But he also makes the point too, it treats the theologian as though really in the end, anyone who's worth their salt doing any kind of theology is totally separate from the world and its sort of the anxieties of a Christianity, today. Like it abstracts it makes the clown seems too separate from the world. He never was. I mean, that's not a human way of sort of interacting. Like the believer, this is a normal Ratzinger theme. The believer is aware of sort of the unbelief of modernity that gnaws at him. So there's an interesting point here, actually. I think it's actually very, that your question is excellent, and it's not